My name is Carrie Luke. I'm an instructional learning specialist at the University Library. I provide leadership and support for ePortfolio initiatives on campus. And I'm glad I'm going second. I think Rachel provided some really good, a really good basis for thinking about scaffolding reflection into engaged learning experiences. I'm not here presenting by myself. So Amy Conger is also here with me. She's from the Provost office. I'm going to provide sort of an overview or a skim across the top of what ePortfolio is and how it can support engaged learning. And then Amy is going to go into a deeper dive around what it can look like in one specific context. Oh no, why does it look like that? Well, we're deeply embedded in this, so it's okay if you can't see all of the words. I wanted to just situate this work really briefly. I think James did a great job this morning of reminding us of what the engaged learning outcomes are. And there are 4 venues that really bring out these adjectives that we want our graduates to be. We want them to be creative. We want them to be innovative. We want them to be collaborative and intercultural and responsible is down there off the screen. And there are a variety of venues for enabling that. So civic engagement. We also want them to do academic internships, education abroad, and a variety of others. So I'm going to sort of give an introduction to what ePortfolio is, and then talk about how it can plug into those different venues. So we don't just reflect for reflection's sake. We reflect meaningfully, and we don't just do purposelessly. We do with purpose. So reflection connects those 2 pieces. I wanted to sort of situate it also in theory as a good academic and define my terms. We learn by doing and realizing what came of what we did, John Dewey. We do not actually learn from experience as we learn from reflecting on experience, George Posner. I also want to make sure we all know what an ePortfolio is. So an ePortfolio is a digital collection of work including evidence of a person's development. That includes their values, skills, experiences, capacities, strengths, that sort of thing, their history, their experiences across contexts. And they're collected for a variety of purposes. So it might be for reflection and integration. It might be for showcasing really good work. It might be for assessment, or it might be a combination of those things. And this is an example of what an ePortfolio looks like. This is from Carol Gray. She recently graduated from the Health Behavior and Health Education program in the School of Public Health. And she's also a practitioner in theater and a musician. So hers is a really great example of a really good integrative portfolio, bringing together different parts of her identity as a professional and as a person, as a citizen and an artist. And in this PowerPoint, it's linked to it. So when you get this, you can go in and see her portfolio. A good ePortfolio process is well scaffolded with good pedagogy and a rigorous process. So the process foregrounds reflection. It fosters intentionality. It supports integration across contexts and over time, so bringing in past experiences, perhaps from high school, or experiences inside and outside of the classroom. And it helps to make learning visible. I think we find that it's especially hard to make learning visible to our students so they can see what they're getting out of these experiences in addition to external stakeholders, so potential employers, graduate schools, that sort of thing. And I think portfolio really fits in nicely there. What typically goes into a portfolio? Usually it includes a philosophy statement. A philosophy answers the question, why do I do what I do? A vision builds on that, so how do I envision living into that philosophy for myself? Setting good goals, so they could be tangible goals, they could also be aspirational goals. How do I plan to enact that vision for myself? Then some evidence and artifacts of how I'm working toward that, reflections on those pieces, perhaps connections or alignments with competencies, especially in professional schools. This is very common. The E in ePortfolio enables the multimedia aspect, so students can really show what they're able to do instead of just telling. Student teachers, for instance, can post a short video of themselves in the classroom actually teaching and showing, potential employers and school systems what they're able to do, instead of just saying, I like active learning. I think it's important for students, which is what they could do previously. They can actually show themselves doing a kinesthetic activity with first graders. So it's really impactful, and it often includes a vita. This reflective framework underlies most of the reflective activities that I'll share in a second. We ask students to identify and articulate a variety of things. We know that students are very good doers at Michigan, as evidenced by the amazing panel this morning and all of the amazing things students do, but when they get into other contexts where they have to explain or articulate what they have gotten out of those experiences, they struggle. And we have heard this from advisors, we've heard this from potential employers. So this really helps students unpack those experiences, articulate the importance of what they did, the knowledge and the skills that they gained as a result of doing it, making connections across those contexts and integrating, articulating the impact this had on themselves, but also the impact it had on others, on community members, that sort of thing. And it also helps them look ahead to implications for the future. These are just some of the reflective activities that we utilize that framework with. I'm happy to share any of these with any of you if you'd like to follow up with me afterward. I'll just highlight a couple. Generative listening is a collaborative activity that students do where they share a moment that was particularly impactful or several stories of those moments, and they work with a partner or several partners, and the partner listens generatively. That is, they listen for strengths, capacities, values, skills, and it's meant to be really affirming. It's meant to help them uncover tacit knowledge about themselves and what they're able to do, so that they can feed that into things like their philosophy and their vision. We also get a lot of traction around meta-reflections. The e-learning program in the dental hygiene uses meta-reflections, and that's where they find they get the most traction with their students, especially in their capstone experience, where they have the students actually look at the reflections they did early on in the program, so reflecting on their reflections, but then they can see how they've grown as reflective practitioners and understand how they can build reflection into their career as a dental hygienist. Those are just a couple examples, but as I said, I'm happy to share any of these with you. So ePortfolio, as I've described, scaffolds engaged learning in a variety of ways. It helps students unpack their experiences. It helps them identify and articulate impact. It helps them integrate these experiences with their coursework so that they don't feel like siloed or separate endeavors for them. They can see how they're building toward one holistic vision for themselves. It helps them build reflective habits, which is critical in the 21st century for professionals. And it also helps them develop engaged learning competencies and align with the outcomes that we mentioned earlier on. So here's my unfortunate graphic again, but I just wanted to emphasize the different venues. So internships and practica, ePortfolios are used in a variety of places there, including the Michigan International Internship and Service Program, the School of Public Health, and the Practical Engagement Program. As I mentioned, in service and civic engagement, and you'll see a lot of these fall under multiple rubrics, but just so you can get a sense of the breadth of the work, it's used in Ginsberg and Alternative Spring Break. Students who just went last week and did work all over the country are working on their portfolios right now. It's used in SAPAC. It's used at Arts at Michigan for their arts ambassadors. It's also used to help students unpack their research experiences, which is really critical. So UROP students use it, students in the Michigan research community. Those are both undergraduate programs, and then we have postgraduate programs that are using Portfolio as well in the Michigan Institute for Clinical and Health Research through the med school. And then we have a variety of programs that are study abroad or education abroad focused. The Office of Global Activities and School of Social Work uses it. Their students are at a variety of places in terms of international experiences. Some have just gone abroad and done the Peace Corps. Others have gone away for a summer. But this helps them unpack those experiences regardless of how long it was or where they went. And also we have in SI, the Global Information Engagement Program uses it. This one is particularly cool, the International Center Student Council. They're students from abroad who have come to Michigan, and it's helping them unpack what that experience is, what it means to be a cultural risk taker when they come to America, things that they found troubling or things that they overcame as a result of that. So I think that's an interesting spin on thinking about education abroad. And then the College of Engineering is using it in a variety of international programs. And this is where I'll turn it over to Amy to talk about hers specifically.